we have to start with the stock price, right? I mean, I've been looking at your stock for a while. Despite the sell-off and tech sell-off that we have been seeing, it's up 160% so far this year. It's a down day today. When you look at the chart, how much of this is real and how much of it is momentum driven?
Yeah, no, I think for our stock, it's really being recognized for our latest earnings announcement, which you see is unprecedented in terms of the re-rating of our stock. And that's supported by all the analysts' re-rating of the stock as well. So the stock price, in terms of the target price, went from the high single digits into now as high as $40 a share. So, triple digit in terms of increases in terms of that target price recommendation. And that's largely driven by the financials. In the fourth quarter, we announced adjusted net income of 101% year-on-year growth. And so I think from that perspective, we feel very comfortable in terms of the trajectory we have, especially as it relates to the fact that we have now much more diversified business from a PC player to now really an AI infrastructure player as it relates to our server business, which we had acquired from IBM back in 2015. And it's a very much of a leading product in the high performance compute space, which if you think about IBM, they were the first to really run AI, Watson, and they were also a hardware company. So they developed a machine which really were made to compute AI. And so that's why Lenovo is actually it's the leading high performance compute company in the world. And really AI servers today is really a subsegment of HPC.
Yeah, and NVIDIA actually made a very big push to elbow out Intel and AMD's x86 dominance with its RTX Spark chip. How popular do you think these ARM-based chips would be for the PC market? And what do you think will happen to AMD and Intel?
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of innovation happening in the chip space, in the GPU side, CPU side. And I think that demand really mirrors our product portfolio set. In terms of compute capabilities today, that's in the cloud, driven by hyperscalers' needs for AI training. And then I think as they get ready to set up their data centers for AI inferencing, that will go from GPU to CPUs. And of course, as we look at today, the cost of compute and token generation, eventually it will go on the edge. And so a lot of it, whether it's data privacy or cost concerns, you will want AI compute on your devices in a localized basis that's only privy to you. And so we have that product portfolio set and the plan for that compute. And I think you really see the steps of NVIDIA really going in that direction of our strategic positioning as well.
Can you tell us how much Lenovo's RTX Spark chip laptop would cost? I mean, the chatters I hear is between $3,000, $4,000. Yeah. Is there any chance that the starting price would be lower than that?
I think it's initially, as we understand it, it's a premium product. But I think, I think this is something that would be over time, I think, in terms of repositioning of an AI product going forward, right? So I think we have the core fundamental portfolio set in terms of the screen-based devices, whether it's from a PC to tablet to smartphone. We think that serves as a foundation to AI devices going forward. Of course, people are talking about AI glasses. There's a lot of different data collections on you today with the rings and other things. And so that would just serve as a portfolio set. But I think in the near term, as we think about the strategic positioning, there's still already a lot of AI native companies who want to partner with hardware companies or have higher hardware-centric people into their organizations to develop that integration. And so we already do that with AI companies, and we're doing that with our own agent in terms of an orchestration layer. And so I think that's really the mirror of a starting point of AI devices going forward in terms of the NVIDIA innovation that you're talking about.
Sounds very expensive. But you brought a laptop here with you.
Yes.
And of course, it's not the RTX Spark laptop, no. But it's a whole innovation that you've been showing me.
Yeah, it's I think it was me running out of the home today to work, but this is our award-winning rollable. So if you are at home today, a lot of people are working from home. And instead of plugging into a screen, sometimes I don't want to be sitting in my home office. I want to be in my deck or on the roof. doing my call, just a change of environment. So you can kind of have your Teams or Zoom here, and you can still have another file. So I think that additional space and portability is actually quite interesting.
Yeah. I was saying it would be very nice to show the terminal here to work, at home or at the airport. But why don't we talk about the global supply chain, right? All the companies have been saying that they're under pressure because of component shortage, and memory shortage is going to last all through 2027. Yeah. Are you going to keep raising prices? Or are you going to sustain the prices so that it stays attractive for hyperscalers and for the PC offerings?
Yeah, what's underpinning the shortage today, and the shortage is not just in terms of components, right? I think it's the great demand. It's the AI infrastructure build is probably the greatest infrastructure build in the history of mankind, right? From the Industrial Revolution to the internet era as we're building, and I think we're really seeing a repeat of that, and we haven't seen that in terms of this type of acceleration in the dollar spent. And you're seeing that in equity markets today, companies raising money, and the dollars that they're raising is going to go back into AI infrastructure build. A lot of that will be going towards this area. So I think the prices of components will continue probably to stay elevated, but I think at this point, because there's demand driven, I think that economic, as you say, in terms of that, the healthy margin should be able to sustain. I think in the device side, it's a little bit unprecedented in terms of this rise. So I think on the lower end consumer device, that percentage price increase in terms of cost will be much higher. So I think that's one thing. But our enterprise business, which Lenovo is very strong in terms of the ThinkPad and other businesses, should be much more sustainable. I think from the perspective of the last 10 years in terms of the PC market, it's generally greater than 250 million sets a year because there's a natural need and demand for PC products, for productivity, for entertainment. A lot of people are watching, big screen, not on big screen TVs anymore, but they're watching it on their laptops. So I think from that perspective, it continues to be a very essential device, both for productivity, also for entertainment.
And how do you foresee the growth drivers for Lenovo change in this AI space over time in the mid to long term? Especially, tell us a little bit more about enterprise on-site and sovereign AI needs.
Yeah.
When it comes to sovereign AI, we haven't gone out there like very big yet. But for instance, Korea is very big on sovereign AI.
Yeah. That's a great question. I think from the growth perspective, the AI infrastructure build is going to be significant for many years to come. In terms of what we're witnessing in the last few years has been mostly for training, and I think that training demand will continue to be there. But we're starting to see spend for the inferencing, because as enterprises get ready, and even enterprises like a Lenovo, your data is scattered. So I think the ability to really run AI today, I think we're just starting to surface. We got to get the data ready. We got to get our processes ready. Then people will really then be able to leverage AI. And then from that perspective, the demand for inferencing will really accelerate. And you're starting to see that build out in terms of not just from US and China hyperscalers, but you're starting to see that from other very large countries and large economies as well. So as you say, South Korea. So I think the sovereign AI in terms of that data sovereignty will be very important in terms of sovereignty for country, sovereignty for people like ourselves in terms of our proprietary business knowledge and data. We'll need to a certain extent train our AI within our environments. And I think that works for sovereign AI and for key enterprise AI as well. That needs to be on-prem, trained with your proprietary knowledge. And I think so that would drive a lot of the local investment. But in the short term, I think that investment will be more flexible because some companies may accelerate the path towards cloud in the near term. And that's why it's also driving, either way, it's driving the demand for AI infrastructure spend. But in the near term, because prices are so high, some people might let go of that opportunity and use cloud computing. But as prices come down, I think people long-term do need to build out their own infrastructure.
And speaking of prices, companies across all sectors are on a capital raising binge, right, to build out their AI infrastructure, their build out. Is Lenovo going to follow suit to compete through either debt or equity raise, or you don't have to?
Yeah, and I say the access today AI, and I think it's access. The A is really not artificial intelligence. It's access and innovation. The access is access to land. It's access to power. It's access to components. It's access to capital. So capital is just one component of that. And you're seeing that with AI companies, right? With the IPOs that are coming, you see then Alphabet coming to the market ahead of these two to really get their share first. And of course, we see the SpaceX IPO this week as well. So I think from that perspective, I think overnight you also see Supermicro also raising. So I think there's a lot of capital demand for the space but that demand is underpinned by growth opportunities. So companies are not raising for the sake of raising. They're raising for clear use of proceeds and because there's clear business opportunities ahead of them. So I think if there are visible, clear, attractive business opportunities, we will probably need to fuel that growth with additional capital as well.
Okay, and other than the actual laptops or the space that you're looking at, of course, Lenovo also is one of the major approved OEMs to distribute H200 chips in China, right, from NVIDIA. How do you foresee this market? Do you have any shipment projections for this year, for instance?
Yeah. Our business, ISG, actually grew 37% year on year, but actually the real growth is actually much higher than that. Because in the fourth quarter of the prior year, we actually were, before regulations really came in, we were still doing some H20s in China while it's still very compliant. So I think that went away. So the actual growth is much, much higher than the 37% that we see year-on-year growth in the last quarter. Should there be a regulatory path towards H200, I think there will be demand in the market. But right now, what we know is that clearly NVIDIA has applied for this license, and Lenovo is the OEM that is authorized to distribute. Yeah.
And staying on this topic a little bit, but as the US-China AI race intensifies, can Lenovo stay above the fray, or at one point do you have to pick a side?
You know, I think Lenovo is a global company in 180 markets. You know, our core technology, I think the key to everything right now is understanding the regulations that exist in all the markets. Right? I think the non-regulations, not just in terms of chips and other things, but it's really, you know, whether it's ESG related as well. I think that's also important. And that's why we built a factory and in partnership with PIF a lot in the Middle East, because to use the sustainable energy, right, in terms of doing this and really to have the hopes of supplying this and exporting out of the KSA in the future for ESG-related matters as well. So I think from that perspective, really being compliant, being ahead, particularly in visionary, like a sustainability effort like this, I think it's important for us. Yeah.
And I don't want to take up your time for lunch, but are you not worried about the share price? Is it too hot right now? Or it's a down day today, but do you think this consolidation is rather healthy?
Well, I never really look at the day-to-day, because I think 180% of I work probably 18, 19 hours a day, right? I think about it. And so 180% of my efforts are towards creating value to our business and to shareholders. So I think as long as we're doing that and working hard and efficient, I think there's only one direction to that. You know, and clearly this time we're setting this in terms of post-earnings. Our options are set at this $20+ level, so we'll be working hard to create additional value.
Great. Thank you so much for your time, Winston.
Thank you. Thank you.